Today we're looking at the causes of the Spanish-American War. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The Spanish-American War was a significant event of the late 1800s that shaped the history of both Spain and the United States. The war itself occurred in the summer of 1898 during the presidential administration of William McKinley and focused primarily on the island of Cuba. One of the main causes of the Spanish-American War was the desire of the United States to expand its influence and territory beyond its borders. By the late 19th century, the United States had already established itself as a growing global power with a rapidly expanding economy. Throughout the previous 100 years, many Americans believed in and promoted the idea of manifest destiny, or the idea that it was America's destiny to expand across the North American continent. The belief in manifest destiny drove Americans to expand west and claim new territories until the United States stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Now in the later years of the 1800s, this expansionist mindset led to increased interest in acquiring territories overseas. Secondly, the deteriorating situation in Cuba played a significant role in sparking the Spanish-American War. Cuba was a Spanish colony and basically had been since Christopher Columbus had arrived in the region in 1492. But there was growing unrest among the Cuban people who sought independence from Spanish rule. The Cuban rebellion against Spanish authority, known as the Cuban War of Independence, gained sympathy and support from many Americans. Reports of Spanish mistreatment and cruel actions against Cuban civilians, as reported in newspapers like the New York Journal and New York World, fueled outrage and caused many Americans to demand for U.S. intervention to support the Cuban cause. However, it must also be noted the influence of yellow journalism and media in stirring anger among Americans against Spain. Yellow journalism refers to sensationalized or exaggerated reporting in newspapers aimed at attracting readers and stirring up emotions. Many newspapers engaged in this type of coverage of the Cuban Rebellion. They painted a vivid and often false picture for readers of the brutality of the Spanish in Cuba. Although many historians downplay the influence of media on American policies and decisions, but it did contribute to shaping public opinion and creating a war fever among some Americans. Furthermore, economic interest also contributed to the outbreak of the Spanish-American War. Cuba was a very attractive market for American businesses, particularly in the sugar industry. American investors had significant economic interest in Cuba, and they feared that the ongoing conflict would disrupt their investments. As a result, there was pressure on the U.S. government to intervene in order to protect American economic investments in Cuba. In January of 1898, the American battleship, the USS Maine, was dispatched from Key West, Florida to Cuba as a show of force to protect American interests during the Cuban Rebellion. However, on February 15, 1898, while in Havana Harbor, the ship mysteriously exploded and sank, causing the death of 268 American sailors. Although the cause of the explosion was never conclusively determined, many Americans blamed Spain for the incident. The rally cry, "Remember the Maine," became a popular slogan that fueled public support for the war. On April 25, 1898, the United States officially declared war on Spain, and the Spanish-American War began. Although Cuba was the central focus of the conflict, fighting between the United States and Spain actually took place around the globe, with some of the first fighting occurring in the Philippines. The war that ensued was brief and extremely one-sided, as American forces dominated the Spanish throughout the conflict. Although the fighting was short, the impact of the war would shape the face of the ever-growing American nation and direct American foreign policies for the decades to come. The Spanish-American War marked the emergence of the United States as a global power and set the stage for its further involvement in international affairs. So, with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.